Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley fight week is here, and I think it's only fair that we talk about the turnaround of Joseph Parker since his loss to Joe Joyce, and obviously taking his first defeat to Anthony Joshua, then losing to Dillian White straight after back to back. Then it's like after that, he's in a few pretty boring fights, and we're questioning. He's like, oh, he's a pretty boring fighter, isn't he? Then it's like he loses to Joe Joyce, and I'm here thinking that's the final nail in the coffin. But no, I was wrong, and I'm now a huge, big Joseph Parker fan. The way he's turned his career around since that Joe Joyce defeat, it's class what he's done with Andy Lee. We talk about it now. After that Joe Joyce defeat, he takes on Jack Massey at heavyweight, where you're questioning it because Jack Massey as heavyweight, what's he doing up there? You know, he gained so much, wasn't fight fit whatsoever, and Parker should have been levels above him. Parker should have stopped him, but Parker looked very poor in that fight against Jack Massey. He looked very poor. I believe that was before he was training. Yeah, it was before he was training with Andy Lee, and it's like you were really questioning the people around him at this point, thinking, yeah, Parker's back with a win, but it's like he looked awful. He looked awful against, a jumped up cruiserweight. So it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look that they went the distance. He was a convincing winner, but you're thinking this guy is done. Then he goes and he beats Opalu in a fight in New Zealand, and it's like it's fake Opalu, whatever his name is. Who cares? He beat him in the first round. It was like I didn't really think much of it. Like it wasn't really promoted or anything. Wasn't really seen as a big event. Promoters didn't really know what to do with him, and I don't think the team around him at the time really knew what to do with him, to be honest. And then it's like, he gets that keen fight in Saudi Arabia on the Fury and Ngannou undercard, wins that in the third round. It was a good performance from Parker, got the stoppage win as well, which I think, everyone knew we needed to see that. That needed to happen. And it was on a big card as well when he won in convincing style via stoppage. And I think that's something that Turkey had a shake like, because he then got the Deontay Wilder fight. But Joseph Parker was supposed to lose that fight to Deontay Wilder. And this is where, Andy Lee comes in fully. These improvements have been made, and things really start getting put together, as we saw in this fight, for with Joseph Parker against Deontay Wilder. They were really drilling on things, Parker and Andy Lee, from the King fight to the Wilder fight. It's a real quick turnaround as well, and Parker wasn't meant to win. It was meant to be Joshua versus Wilder. AJ beat Wallin, got his job done. Parker came in, wrecked the party, absolutely scored and just beat up on Deontay Wilder for 12 whole rounds. He won every second of the fight. Wilder didn't take a round off him, didn't win a minute in that fight against Parker. And people were like, okay, we got to take this guy seriously now. And automatically, I'm thinking, yeah, this guy's turned me into a fan. He's really turning it around, and this guy has really got something going for him now. I think we all know that. We all knew at the time that, those Tyson Fury fights took quite a bit out of Deontay Wilder, but still, Deontay Wilder had his credibility at a high still. He's in, two good fights with Fury, the first and third one. The second one was a shambles for him. But yeah, they took a lot out of Wilder, but then, we're still thinking, look at what he did against the power puncher, and look at how he just approached the fight. Look at the tactics that he came in with in that fight. And you have to respect the game plan that was put together from him and Andy Lee, no matter what Deontay Wilder was in there. Look at the game plan, look at how he controlled censoring, look at how he left so much space behind him to be able to always keep away from that right hand. And just the general ring awareness in that fight from Joseph Parker, I think was very, very, very good to see, no matter what version of Wilder you think we got. We then go to March, where again, it's a quick turnaround. He was fighting, every 2-3 months at this point. Took Keane, took Wilder, took Zhang. he's pretty busy, to be honest. He was. And that Zhang fight, he got dropped twice. It's always going to be a difficult fight. We all know that Zhang has power. Um, it's just that nice clubbing power that he's got, which just comes out of nowhere with those single shots. Parker got dropped twice, but was always able to keep his composure throughout the fight and ended up nicking a well-deserved points decision in that fight against Zili Zhang. And I think his timing was very good. The picking of his shots were good. He was, he's only really throwing when he knew he would land, and he had a very good power punch shot accuracy in that fight against Zili Zhang. I thought again it was really well executed from him against Zili Zhang. And again, it's a performance that had to be respected. And then we're thinking again now, right, wins over two like the heaviest hitters in the division at the time, Wilder and Zhang, we were thinking. And it's like, look at how he's dealing with these, heavy punches now. Look at how he's dealing with these heavy hitters. And it just makes you think, yeah, this guy's about, he deserves a title shot now. He deserves a title shot. What, like 5-fight win streak now? He's turned it around, clearly a different man, Andy Lee. And, it's not just the wins that, we were basing him off. We were basing him off the performance and how he won the fights. And he won them in good, solid fashion. Then we go to February of 2025, this year. Parker was out for 11 months before this fight against Martin Bakole. It was originally meant to be Daniel Dubois, as we know. Dubois pulled out due to illness. Um, but yeah, so the Bakole fight happened. Bakole stepped in on 2 days' notice. And Parker won the fight in 2 rounds, did exactly what he should have done. And no matter what you say, oh yeah, Bakole took the fight on 2 days' notice. Parker didn't know what shape he'd be in. Parker didn't know. Parker has to be respected for taking that risk because Bakole at the point was before this like one of the most feared guys in the division. And there's a video of him as well when he drives up on the buggy. Then I think his manager or someone, I think it was Spencer Brown, was it? And I think he said, "You're fighting Bakole." It was like, "Oh yes, get in." And it's like the attitude of that, and then the performance did what he had to do against an out of shape Bakole, but again, he didn't know what shape Bakole became in, and he was happy to take the fight, and he did what he should have done. Second round knockout. So that was all good. Now going in to the Fabio Wardley fight. In the past year, he's got 2 rounds in. It's not ideal at all, but again, his confidence right now is at an all-time high. It's not like he's old as well. I've seen so many people say, "Oh, Parker's getting older now." He's 33 years old. Yeah, inactivity might play a factor, so it might take Parker like 3 rounds or so to really, get his balance back to him going into the Wardley fight. But yeah, look, I think he'll win the fight. I think he'll get the Usyk fight. And I'm really, really, really rating this turnaround. And right now, I'm fully behind Big Joe.